Walking Dead fans got that sneak peek of season 5 they wanted just a few days ago from Comic-Con. Welcome back, everyone. This is Jason. Yep, San Diego Comic-Con 2014. We got the season 5 trailer of The Walking Dead. Absolutely so stoked about it. Now, I'm not that big of a channel where I'm going to give you a first reaction vid, but I've watched it like I don't know how many times already, slowing it down, freezing it, taking it, trying to, YouTube it frame by frame on some of the, more chaotic sections and break it down like us sick Walking Dead fans do, because we want to see every little blood's head smash, in its finest detail. Um, I'm, I'm, I don't have any problems. I'm good. Uh, um, the trailer was awesome. Just right before I started this video, I was thinking, I don't think this trailer was as long as last year's. I think last year's was almost 5 minutes. I'd have to go back and look, but the trailer for season 4 I think was significantly longer than this one. But yeah, it's amazing how much stuff they can pack in like 3 minutes. Or just over 3 minutes, whatever it was. Yeah, 3 minutes something this trailer was. Well, obviously our crew, with the exception of a few on the outside, are all stuck in the train car. And we get the classic, what is now a classic line from Rick saying, they screwed with the wrong people. And they're going to get out. It's just how they get out, we don't exactly know. We see people coming into the car. It looks like they're trying to gas them out of the car or knock them out so they can get them out of the car. We see guys in gas masks come in the car, and it's all cloudy and foggy. And then there's some, a little bit of chaos. And what looks like it's a bit of a flashback of, they're trying to escape or something like that. Of them trying to escape, or it's a flashback from the end of season 4. It's one of the two. And at the 15-second mark, we get one of the most, even though it's blurred out, you know what it is. Are they going to unblur it for the TV series when it comes out in October? I don't know. But, man, at the 15-second mark, we see a blurred scene of a naked body laying on a table, guy standing in front of it, hunched over it with what sounds like a bone saw going. Absolutely cringe. If you don't just cringe at least a little bit, there's something wrong with you. Oh, man. And then they only show it for 2 seconds. And you can't even, you can tell what it is, but you can't quite see it. But just the fact that they started showing some details of what they're doing to these people at Terminus is just absolutely horrifying. Probably, just when you don't think they can, top the scare factor or the gore factor or the things that make you, creeped out the most factor, whatever you want to call it. Man, they did it this season. Their season 5 is going to be insane. And the next section I'm going to talk about in the trailer is they've got them all lined up. Looks like it's the end for our crew. They've got them all, handcuffed or tied up in the back, gagged in the front, and they're all hunched over, all lined up, hunched over. It looks like a giant steel trough, like they're going to get beheaded or whatever, or something, beat to death, killed somehow, some way. And Gareth is standing in front of them. Looks like he's giving them their last rites in a sense, or something to that effect. Looks like he's could be holding a Bible or something. Looks like last rites. And Bob Stuckey speaks up, and he says a man in the group has a cure, and I can't read my own writing. He talks about, going to Washington, and just and the looks on their faces is just absolutely priceless. They look like they've really been completely run through the mill, like they're on their last leg, just ready to give up everything. But then we see them on the road outside of Terminus. So obviously they get out of Terminus somehow. Just how they get out, or how they convince Gareth to let them go with this plan to go to Washington, is going to be something else. What steps they have to take to get them to do it is going to be unbelievable. Then it shows them in a church, like, they cleared out a church for some sanctuary for the night, and they're talking, and then there's more chaos, more fighting, all the real quick action sequences. Rick says to Carl, "I don't trust this guy." Now, I'm assuming this could be a couple different things, because we see a couple different relationship situations in the trailer. Rick saying to Carl, "I don't trust this guy," you'd almost have to assume he's talking about Gareth. But if you notice throughout the second part of the trailer, where Rick is interacting with Abraham, they've got some, they obviously have different agendas. They have the agenda to stay alive. That's number one agenda. Abraham's agenda is to, obviously is number one, get out of Terminus and then get to Washington with Eugene and his group. Rosita, I think, is the girl's name. I'd have to go back and look at all the characters, because there are some newer ones from the course of the last season. Yeah, get them all to Washington for the cure. So yeah, Rick's either talking about Gareth or he's talking about Abraham. Talking about, conversation with Carl. Then we see more fighting, and Gareth says, "You don't trust me anymore." So, seeing as that's like the next line in sequence that's spoken in this trailer, yeah, it very well could be talking about Gareth. And yeah, how could you trust this guy? They're cannibals, for crying out loud. It's just what they have to go through in season 5 to get out of Terminus is going to be absolutely mind-blowing. I can't wait to see it. It's going to be probably some of the creepiest stuff we've seen on The Walking Dead in all of its seasons. And we've seen some pretty creepy stuff. Stuff that just makes your skin crawl. Then we hear Rick say, while stuff is going on, it says, "These people are my family." Turn the page. Then at the 134 mark in the trailer, you see all of the group in what looks like a bedroom. Looks like some kind of bedroom with some dimmed lighting. And you hear Rick say in the background, while the scene is going on, he says, "If you hurt them in any way, I'll kill you." Got to be talking to Gareth, because throughout this whole trailer, he is looking shady as hell. I'd be shocked to see if Gareth actually gets out of 2 episodes alive. He's a pretty significant character, but I'd be shocked. I honestly think they're going to off him pretty quick in this series. I could be wrong. I don't know. I don't read the comic books. I don't know how long his character is supposed to last, or how long this trip is from Terminus to Washington in the series itself. I have no idea. But yeah, this scene at 134, like I said, you see the group in the room, what looks like a bedroom, and it goes across the wall, looking at all the people just kind of like lined up, just hanging out. Obviously, they're all there for some reason. And as the camera pans across the room, you start to understand what's going on in the scene. You see, now this is kind of hard because it doesn't show everyone that clearly at first. I had to replay it I don't know how many times. The first one they show just off camera for a split second is Abraham. Then you see Eugene. Then you see Carl. You see Rick holding Judith. So Judith's still alive. Cool. Then you see Sasha standing next to Tyrese, excuse me. And then Tara is walking off scene in front of everyone, like she just got done talking to someone or something. Glenn comes out of the corner from where he was standing to be at Maggie's side. Maggie's kneeling down, what looks like to be at the bedside of who? That's the big question. If you go through all the characters, who's not standing there that they didn't show, you only got a couple options. Is it Daryl? And that's there's a lot of people as excited as they were seeing this trailer, like pissed off at the same time because they're like, oh, it better not be Daryl. Well, it could have been Carol. Carol wasn't in that lineup. Who else wasn't there? Bob Stuckey. Bob Stuckey was not in that lineup along the wall. Neither was Rosita. So from the people that they showed in that scene, it had to be one of those people. I didn't mention Beth because we're getting to that. If you've seen the trailer, you know that right after all that, the next minute after that scene, that particular scene, you see it's just all chaos, fighting, zombies, killing, running, huge explosion. And I had to watch that back a couple times because it reminded me of the big explosion from season 1 when they left the CDC and the whole thing exploded, and then they left, they drove off. And that was the one thing that kind of like, from special effects wise, was kind of like, oh, it wasn't that great. It was obviously, you tell it wasn't a real explosion. But for what it was from season 1, for what it was worth, it did its job. It didn't look like, a firecracker going off or something lame like that. It was a big explosion. This explosion towards the end of the trailer, very similar, with the exception of these had an absolute mass number of, walkers going off in the explosion too, which is very cool. So just an outlandish number of zombie kills. Michonne, towards the end of the trailer, also has like a double kill. Takes out one. I think it was Carl holding another one, and she's got like, how she's got the not the machete, but the sword. Looks like she's got like a double sword going on. Got one and then stuck it back into another one. That was badass. So much stuff. Then it goes black, and just when you think you've seen it all, and it cuts to the, The Walking Dead. Season 5 premiere Sunday, October 12th, whatever time is said, 8, 9 o'clock. You hear a voice and you see what it's kind of an odd section of the trailer. You hear a voice talking, in the background, and you see what looks like a figure stumbling around in an empty courtyard between buildings. Almost looks like the prison, but it's not the prison. It almost looks like Terminus, but it's not Terminus. And you come to learn then it's where Beth is. Um, this lady is talking to Beth, and she says, every sacrifice we make needs to be for the greater good. And here, you're not the greater good. You're part of the system. Really strange. But Walking Dead fans have been waiting since the end of the season to find out, where's Beth? Is she alive? What's going on? There's all these rumors going from spring to summertime of, what could be happening to her. Who is she going to show up with? Well, it looks like she's going to show up with a character by the name of, I believe the character's name is Father Gabriel. It's from the comic book. I'm not sure what, what his role in the storyline is. Like I said, I don't read the comics, so I don't know. I just heard about different characters that are going to be coming soon. Yeah, but what extent we're going to find out, obviously in October. So, this chick is a cop, where she's in like a not a military, but police, security, some kind of uniform, talking to Beth. Beth looks like she's in, I don't want to say prison. It's not prison garb. I don't think it's really prison garb. That'd be orange or whatever. It almost looked like she's like in a nurse's uniform, like scrubs. To me, it looked like scrubs. It all happened so fast, but it looked like nursing scrubs. Well, over the course of this, of her, talking to her, like yelling at her, conversing with her, however you want to interpret it. And then when they're done talking, they show Beth staring down an empty elevator, what looks like an empty elevator shaft, like she's trying to escape or something, get away from this building. And I slowed it down, almost frame by frame at this end where it shows, Beth, and it shows all these really quick, chaotic scenes of, people dying or some kind of surgery happening or something. They're definitely looks like they're in some kind of hospital setting, and looks like somebody who's wearing the same kind of outfit that Beth is wearing dies. And in just a quick second of a scene, you get if you blink, you miss it. I was able to posit the same person who was getting attacked or was dying or whatever was happening to this other person other than Beth ends up turning, attacking this female police officer lady, who ends up, hitting Beth at the end of the trailer, just clocks her hard, and then goes black. But yeah, all those quick little, chaotic moments of what looks like Beth trying to escape from this place. That lady dies, so you can tell she ends up getting attacked by what looks like, a walker or one of the other girls in this place that turned. And that's it in a nutshell, all the stuff that I got from it. Now, I'll probably watch it a couple more times before October, and we should get another trailer in, I'm guessing, another month or two, somewhere at the end of summer, probably September, hopefully another trailer or two, to give us a little glimpse of what the premiere is going to be like. If you have a chance, go on YouTube, find the panels where the cast is talking about season 5 and their characters and everything. It's really interesting. Another thing I want to touch on is I did a review a year ago for the season 4 trailer, and I made a comment during that trailer to the effect of the absolute sickest walkers that I've ever seen were in this trailer. Well, they topped that with this trailer. Remember last season where the infection was going on and these walkers were bleeding from the eyes and then they turned, so they just looked insanely scary with like the blood running down their face as they were turning and then, coming after you. Just ridiculously one of the most scariest things I've seen on the TV show. Just crazy. The walkers are scary enough, but now the makeup that they're putting on these walkers season after season after season is becoming more, obviously the budget is going up, is becoming more and more detailed, just absolutely sick. These walkers in the season 5 trailer I'm going to be talking about now, there's a section of the trailer where it looks like they're in some kind of dilapidated, not grocery store, like department store with clothing. Rick's looking into like a hole in the floor, and like the basement of this place is flooded, and he sees walkers down there. Now, if you remember back, it's season 2, the scene where Glenn was going down into the well and they were trying to get the walker out of the well to preserve the well and the water and everything. That walker was all nasty and slimy and bloated. Some of these walkers in this trailer, I'm going to call them swimmers. They're just hanging out in the water, being nasty. These swimmers are just sick looking. Oh my God. You get a close look at a couple of them. I mean, they're real quick, brief moments, but you get a good look at them. Some up close, some are moving quick, turning, getting killed, or whatever. But man, similar to the chaos of the Big Lots scene from season 4, in the season 4 premiere where they're trying to clear that joint out, and then the helicopter comes through the roof and all the walkers come down and attack them, and then they're running and they lose a couple guys or whatever, Beth's boyfriend. But they like the chaos from there looks like the chaos from this scene where they're in this department store and they got the swimmers beneath them, and I'm guessing the floor gives out, maybe that's how they get down there or something. Like the place just completely falls apart. They end up getting attacked by all the walkers in the basement. Obviously something that happens after Terminus, because they even have different clothes on, it looks like. So obviously somewhere, some point between Terminus and here, they got some place cleaned up. So obviously they're on their way to Washington. They get out of Terminus. How they do that, God only knows. Can't wait to see this. I'm so excited about season 5 coming up. One last really interesting part, not on the trailer, but the panel that I watched last night, the Comic-Con panel of the whole cast. This was Carl's first Comic-Con, and it was so funny. The whole panel was so entertaining. Just everybody talking about their characters, communicating with the audience and their questions was very entertaining. Some of the question, the audience members asking the questions were very entertaining too. You go find it, you'll know what I'm talking about. Very funny stuff. Well, this was Carl's first Comic-Con. This is season 5. When he started the series, he was 10 years old. He's now 15. They're in season 5. And it's just, I think it's really interesting to, all these characters, yeah, there's character development. They change, they've become more ragged, or they become more tough, depending on which character you're talking about. But the one that is the most interesting of all, honestly, in the top 3 characters of the show, I'd have to say would be Carl. Carl has literally grown up on this show. Now think about that for a second. What other shows out there? I can't think of many off the top of my head other than other shows that I've watched growing up myself, being younger. What other shows out there have you seen child actors or actresses grow up on a show that has become so mega popular? The first one that came to my mind is something old and kooky like the Brady Bunch, how those kids grew up on that show. It was the first thing that came to mind. Now, obviously, that show is nothing like this, but just the fact that Carl is growing up on this show is really something, that this show has lasted that long. And you got to wonder, is this show going to last that long, that Carl is going to end up being the lead in this TV series if they decide to kill off Rick someday? I mean, they're, from what I can tell, and like I said, I don't read the comics, they're both still alive, Carl and Rick. So, who knows? And they don't do everything by the book in this series. There's different characters. They change plot lines up a little bit, relationships. Daryl's not in the comics, and yet he is one of the most popular characters in the show. I'm thinking back to that scene now at 134 where the whole group is in the bedroom and they're at someone's bedside and it looks like they're saying goodbye to someone. And these guys are good. They don't give away anything at the Comic-Con. You got to wonder if they really are going to kill off Daryl this season. You'd almost think you'd be crazy to, but they've killed off other important people in this series like Herschel and Lori. Who knows what they're going to do? What do you think? What do you fans think they're going to do this season as far as character deaths? I might do a separate video watching the trailer a couple more times, see if I hear any rumors out there, what fans think, other channels, predicting this, that, and the other thing. Who that's one of the big topics, obviously, from The Walking Dead. Who are they going to kill this season? And for fans, you hope they all make it, but that's the show. They got to kill off people, bring in new people. That's how it goes. So what do you think? Are you guys excited? Are you stoked? Yeah, like I said, I'm probably going to watch it a million more times before the season starts. We should get another trailer, I'm guessing, about a month from now. We're going to have some more Comic-Cons and some more previews and some more panels to check out stuff for the new season 5 coming up. So thanks for watching, guys. That's my thoughts on the trailer. I thought it rocked. What do you think? Put it in the comments below. Tell me what you think is going to happen. Did you like it, or do you think it was not as good as past seasons? Thanks for watching, guys.